Hello, everybody. Welcome. I see everybody's joining. As usual, before we start, we'll do a quick technical check live. Let me know if you can hear me and see me well. Hi, everybody. Great to have you. I can hear you. Okay, awesome. Awesome. I always do a technical check before, but once we go live, we never go. Hear you. Okay. That is great. Welcome, everybody. We'll get started in a minute. Just let everybody join. And as usual, we have a lot to cover, so we're definitely not going to wait too long to get started. Everything looks good. Sounds, video is great. Okay, perfect. Okay. Let's get started. Welcome, everybody. Thank you for joining. Thank you for carving 90 minutes out of your busy schedules on a Monday to be here with me and learn with me. My name is Maggie Perrotin. I'm a business and leadership coach. I'll tell you a little bit about me just in a second. But I want to start with telling you, that you're in the right place if you want to sign more clients more consistently and not spend maybe time and effort and money either investing into paid advertising or DMing and cold messaging and using those sort of techniques that maybe don't resonate with you. Because sometimes what happens is people think that, oh, the only way to grow my business and get clients is either if I invest in advertising, paid advertising, or if I cold message, if I do a lot of cold reach out, and that doesn't resonate with me. And that's not necessarily the case. I'm not saying that cold messaging doesn't work or ads don't work, but there are certain things that need to be put in place in order for them to work. And cold messaging, all in all, I think personally that the ratio of effort and time that you need to the results is very low. Now, if you've tried and it didn't work for you, that's probably why, and I'll talk about that too. But if you're thinking, well, I've tried all the things, I've been marketing my business organically, but nothing is working. So I'm kind of desperate and I'm thinking about that, but I don't want to do that. You're in the right place as well. We'll talk a lot about organic marketing today. Okay, so as I said, my name is Maggie Perrotin. I'm a business and leadership coach. And what I do, I help business owners grow their businesses in a way that's very sustainable when they grow a really strong foundation of their business and set it up for success now and long term, and without overwhelm and overwork. I have a lot of experience in business and corporate, working for large corporations, smaller businesses, from all kinds of aspects, meaning from business development and marketing to operations and people leadership and project management, technology, but also business analytics. Therefore, my approach or outlook on business is maybe unique in a sense that I have a really holistic view and I utilize that to help my clients grow. Okay, so here is what we're going to learn and do today. We'll talk about 10 most common marketing and sales mistakes that I see business owners do, or I even coach my clients on when they come to me. We'll talk about why they happen, what results they create when you kind of do them, and how to fix them. Now, it's important to know why something happens in order for you to know how to fix it. Also, the mistakes that I'm going to talk about, they're maybe from a different perspective that you haven't heard before. We'll talk about a lot about how the way you think about marketing or the way you think about your business affects what you ultimately do and how you show up, how you become visible. And that's we'll approach the mistakes from that portion, okay, from that perspective. Then I'll share with you this 3-step process to signing clients consistently. It's a proven process, something that I use in my business, something that I coach my clients on. It's very simple, but one thing you'll learn about me is I'm all about simple, okay? The simpler I make it for you and my clients to understand certain, concepts in business and marketing and sales, the easier it is for you to implement. Therefore, you're more willing to implement it, you get more consistent, and then you get better results. So that process helped me to double my business pretty much every year since I started it. It helps my clients get great results. So it works. It's not them, it's something that I just created for the sake of this webinar. And then towards the end, I'm going to talk about how to work with me, why and how. And I'm going to sell you hard on it. And here is why. Because I want you to get transformation that you will start today by me teaching you all the amazing information and giving you a lot of aha moments. I want this to be long lasting and permanent. And that only works when you apply it long enough to make the transformation and results lasting. Okay. Because if it was only for the information for you to learn and magically results happen, then everybody would have successful business. We would have no failure rates that are very high in the first 5 years of business. And everybody would be a millionaire because all the information is out there in books, on other webinars, on YouTube, you Google it, everything is out there. But it's the application that's organized, that it's adjusted to your business, and that's consistent, that creates lasting results. And coaching is the best route, or at least the best found route to get there. And if you don't believe me, you can ask any Olympic athlete that gets to the, highest level of results. They will tell you who helps them. All right. And then at the end, of course, I will stay up to answer any questions about anything that we'll talk about today, that I will code, that I will teach you on, and so on. Sounds good? You ready? Okay, let's get started. Okay. So mistake number 1, I call it results expectancy. So that often starts with brand new entrepreneurs when they start a business and they think that only because they can help people, they have a gift, they have a great product, or they have a service, people will magically find them and they will, come and ask them for help. Or only because they have a website. So like there's a one secret strategy, one magic solution that the clients will start storming through your doors and so on. And that is not true, right? There isn't one magic strategy that will, solve all your marketing problems, right? That will bring you all the clients and so on. But when you believe that, what happens is you start running after shiny object, this one magic funnel, or maybe Facebook ads, or the website. If I only invest all my money in the website, I won't have to do any marketing. I won't have to do any sales. The clients will magically show up, right? So you're catering to your primitive brain who loves instant gratification, and it looks just for shortcuts. How can I not do what I'm not comfortable with, not do what I don't like, minimum amount of time and energy, and get all the results, right? You're becoming impatient. Through that, sometimes there's a salesiness that comes across because, especially if you are, let's say, DMing, I'll tell you about one of my clients, and you've sent X amount of DMs and you're like, oh my God, like I'm sending, nothing is happening. You become impatient, and that comes across on the other side with your potential client receiving it a bit salesy. So the results that creates if you lack momentum. Okay, you're switching from one strategy to another and so on, not giving it enough time to actually work for you, not allowing yourself figure out how to make it work for you and learn the skills that are required to make a strategy work for you. Okay, there is a bit of entitlement, but then what happens is you work a lot, you work long hours, or you procrastinate. So there's two schools there. Some people procrastinate and avoid. Some people just add action to it, which then makes you feel exhausted, overwhelmed, disillusioned, and all those kinds of things, right? So how you want to fix it? First, yes, you do need to believe that you have something of value to offer, that there are people out there who want it, but not be entitled for them to magically find you. and acknowledge, accept that there is work to be done. And some of the work might be you developing certain skills, a little bit of water, and not necessarily delegating the responsibility of the website or a funnel to do everything for you magically without you putting any knowledge and skills into it. So for example, one of the clients I had, I think last year, maybe 2 years ago, when she came to me, she was doing a lot of DMs, right? That's what she was taught. That's what she thought would solve all her marketing problems, her clients' problems. And when we did the math, I like always get to the numbers. She was sending like something like 400 DMs in different platforms a month and barely getting any responses. And like the clients who responded, usually they were either ghosting her, or if they're, they were signing up for her services, they were like minimal services, they weren't staying, and so on. But when we switched that to actually some strategies that were aligned with her, that, aligned with her clients and follow the process that I'm going to teach you today, not only she spent less time online marketing because she was more of an online business, so all her marketing was online. Less time, she felt way better because, of course, calls, messaging, she felt awful and salesy and so on. And people were reaching out to her, not her chasing people, but people reaching out to her, interested in her services, asking how do I work with you, and signing up for higher price offers and staying with her longer because she was really attracting her ideal clients and not just chasing anybody and everybody. Okay. Second mistake, winged marketing. I call it winged. It's winged marketing. So that's a marketing without really plan or strategy, where you go after, your primitive brain goes after, I have to do it all. Okay. We all follow people in our respective industries that might be further along, and we see their businesses, we see their successes, but also you don't see what's kind of behind that, right? What was the route? How much they've experimented? Who is behind that? And so on. So you tell yourself that you do it all. You got to be everywhere. You got to try all the strategies all at once. And because it's like another thought, it's a numbers game. So I'm everywhere. If I'm doing everything, at some point, somebody buy. But what it creates is really action that's not coordinated. Okay. There's no real goals. It's really frantic. It's very exhausting. Again, you're spending a lot of time scattered. Okay. That creates lack of consistency, because if we can't keep up something, we'll naturally stop doing it. Your brain will rebel and say, we're not doing it. This is exhausting. This is ridiculous, right? You feel busy all the time and you feel that overwhelmed. So how you want to fix it, you actually want to have a plan. You want to intentionally pick certain marketing tactics that makes sense for you, for your business, for your ideal clients, and then go deep in them, okay? It's not about, for example, accumulating followers, but being able to convert people who are strategically, you attract them strategically into paying clients. I literally not that long ago, I was talking to a team member of an influencer who has 300,000 followers. Don't remember which platform, 300,000. And guess what their sales were in the past 12 months? $2,000. Not because of the lack of followers, but because they haven't figured out how to convert them into paying clients, or those followers are not even interested ideal clients because they might have been acquired differently. There's a difference between having followers because, let's say, you're a free entertainment, and there is difference between having followers because you attracted them with what you offer and they're interested in working with you at some point in their journey. And then it's a matter of figuring out how to convert them. Okay, so going deep in less strategies gives you that time and allows you to focus to do that, rather than trying to do it all and just focusing on followers or people you meet or however you market your business. It doesn't have to be just online. Okay. Next mistake is on and off marketing. So sometimes I market, sometimes I don't. Sometimes I go all in every day, a number of posts, and then quiet for a month, 2 or longer. Okay. What that energy or what that kind of action may come from is this: sometimes people think, oh, I only need to be inspired to market, because if I'm not inspired, then yes, I feel a bit desperate, maybe a bit graspy, and that shows up in my marketing, and I don't want that. Therefore, I think that the thought is, I need to feel inspired, I need to feel excited in order to market. But that only happens 50% of the time, okay? In regular human life, it's impossible to feel excited and inspired all of the time. Life is 50-50. 50% of the time we feel great or somewhat neutral, and then 50% of the time we get somewhere neutral or not so great. But if you want to run a successful business long term and you want it to be your main source of income, we got to figure out how to run that business and serve our clients no matter how we feel. And I'm not talking here about being sick in a hospital and things like that. That's a separate conversation. But I mean, like, you're able, you're willing, it's just the way you feel, whether you feel great, impact whether you market your business or not. Okay. Because inconsistency creates inconsistent clients. That spur of marketing that you will do will create a client at some point, but then the time you don't will create a drought and your income will be like this, okay? So the fix to that is not to think of marketing as something that about you and you need to feel certain way and you need to be certain way and attract people through your, I don't know, lifestyle and all about you. Is you want to focus on your client and being of service to them. Meaning, if I'm going to show up today, how can I bring value to my clients? And when you get out of your own head and focus on somebody else, you don't need to feel excited or inspired to help people, right? Sometimes we can feel shitty, excuse my language, and still get ourselves to help somebody, because that's how we're built as human beings, right? Helping somebody actually fills our cup. So therefore, it doesn't matter how we feel, we can always help somebody. That's how you sustain consistency in your marketing. Okay. Mistake number 4. When you set too ambitious results goals. So it comes from the belief that only having a big vision, big, hairy, and audacious goals, that's enough to keep me motivated and keep going in my business and keep me consistent. So when you have a big vision and big, hairy, and audacious goals, I'm not saying don't have it. Of course, have it. I encourage my clients to have it. When we think about them, we can start strong and ambitious, but again, because it's a high type of emotion, excitement that takes a lot of energy from us, and our brain can't sustain it, we go down, right? So we cannot keep it up all the time. It's not realistic. Therefore, if we only have those sorts of goals, we'll get discouraged. They'll kind of become boring. We want to pursue them and so on. Okay. And when the results, what happens is when you don't achieve them, when you underestimate the amount of time it takes you, and then your brain's like, oh, we didn't achieve them in a month or a year, therefore we can't. You get disappointed, disillusioned, and then you lose the belief that you can keep going, that your business can keep growing, and also confidence in yourself. Okay. So the way you want to fix it is you want to break down your big goals into more realistic. They're called either progress goals or sub goals or whatever, right? So if I want to build business this big or make X amount of money in certain amount of time, and I'm not sure how long it takes me, that's okay. I can have that on the horizon. But in the meantime, create smaller goals that feel achievable, that are realistic for you to actually hit, because as you do it, you're proving to your brain that you can keep going. That's what you're doing is working. And that keeps you, gives you motivation and builds up your confidence to achieve this. Okay. I was just coaching my client like a couple of weeks ago on that. And we sort of created those goals, those in between progress goals, because that's exactly what was happening to her. Okay. The next mistake is when you sell or show up from that like graspy energy. And that comes when you're trying, when you think about your offer, your product, or whatever you have, your service, and say, okay, well, I can help everybody. I can help everybody and anybody because everybody needs it. But not everybody wants it. And it's very hard to convince somebody who doesn't want something to actually buy it. And when you try, because when you're thinking about people who could potentially benefit from what you have, but they don't necessarily want it, that graspiness and that, salesy energy comes out because, again, you become frustrated. Well, why don't they want it? I've been telling them and they're not responding or they're not interested. There's nothing, right? That can also come from the belief that there aren't enough people around who want what you offer. Therefore, I should convert those who could benefit. And that doesn't work. Or even if it did, because there are some sales tactics that actually create desire for people, and then people sometimes buy even the things that they didn't know they wanted, right? Big companies sometimes do that. But very often it creates a buyer's remorse. So even if you were able to do that, it will usually create a buyer's remorse. So those are usually not your ideal clients. And again, it takes time and a lot of resources. And that's the small business owners. Usually you don't have it, we don't have it. It's not worth it. Okay. So what happens when you believe that, then again, you're a little bit graspy, you're willing to do I'll do whatever it takes just so I can sign a client, just so I can convince them, right? So DM, I'll put money in the ads, whether I know what's needed into that or not. I'll just look for this, again, magic solution that will convert all the people for me. But what that does, it's actually repels your ideal clients, because your ideal clients are people who want it, people who have the need and want it. But if you're talking to them as if they didn't want it and you're trying to convince them, then they're like, whoa, that's kind of, a bit more repelling. And you repel the people who actually could be your clients, okay? So when you market, you want to come from sufficiency. You want to come from, there is enough people who want what I offer, and not only they have a need, but they want it, and I'm going to talk to them. My assumption is they want it. It doesn't mean that they will buy now, or it doesn't mean that they don't have certain hesitation over why should I choose you over somebody else, right? It's kind of like, imagine when you go to a retail store and you want to buy a dress or you want to buy a piece of clothing. You have a need and you want it, but for now, you don't know which store you're going to buy it from. So you go and see 3 stores, and the store who presents you with exactly what you need and feels your need and understands you is the one you will buy it from. Right? So our ideal clients who want it, one doesn't mean they automatically choose us. That's why the marketing comes in place. We develop a relationship and we showcase the value of what we have and how it fits their needs, so they choose us over somebody else. Okay. Take number 6, communication through convincing. So it's sort of related to the one that I just talked about. It's just a little bit different perspective. So and I had somebody, I coached somebody on it, I think a few months ago, not that long ago, where they were an expert in what they're selling or in what they offer to their ideal clients. And they're like, well, client, but they don't understand. I keep telling my ideal clients, and they should know better. They should know this and this and that. And I challenged her on it because they said, well, if your client was an expert in what you're an expert on, maybe they wouldn't need you in the first place, right? If we're an expert, maybe we can do it on our own. But your clients need you and want your help because they're not. But also because they're not, they need certain level of education, not convincing, not coming from, but they don't see the value and I need to somehow convince them, but from just like a teacher teaches children certain things that they need to know to then grow up as good adults, sometimes you need to teach your clients certain things for them to make best educated decision for themselves, right? So you don't want to argue and convince because that repels. Again, you want to talk to your ideal clients, but in their language, in a way that they will understand and connect with, in a way that's simple for them to understand. Okay, next mistake is copying others. So again, I'm looking at others that I follow. It looks like they're super successful. They're using this strategy and they're doing this and they're doing that. And the thought sometimes people have is, if it works for them, it's going to work for me. Okay, but the problem is here that what we see on the outside in others, we don't see everything that went into creating it. We don't see the stage of their business they're in. What was the logic that led them to pick that strategy over the other? What's the journey that they took to make that strategy work for them? Okay. Why they chose it, who is their ideal clients and so on. And all that actually plays a role in the strategies that are successful for people. Okay. So what happens is when you kind of blindly copy, you don't create the results that others are creating, right? They're either minimal or not as big or none at all, right? So the fix to that is to have, I call it intentional marketing strategy, but some sort of marketing plan where what you pick, the tactics you're going to use, so networking over Instagram, over TikTok, or some webinars, just like me, right? One of the things, or sponsoring certain things, or whatever the case might be, it's a logical, strategic decision, not a copying or wing it. Let me try it all, okay, and see what sticks type of thing. The next one is paid ads too soon. So we talked a little bit in the beginning about paid advertising. I'm not saying paid advertising doesn't work. So for example, Google or Instagram or Facebook, or there's some other offline paid advertising, okay? But when you do it too soon, it's not work. It doesn't work for you, not because it doesn't work at all, but because you might have not figured out yet how to convert potential client into paying client. And that's the best to do in organic marketing, right? So the belief, if you have that only ads or DMs create clients, that's not the greatest belief to have. And it's not true, okay? And when you get into paid advertising, when you don't really understand how your ideal client buys, what is underneath their decisions, and what's the psychology behind it, and you haven't tested it organically, okay, all you do is really you invest money and you have no return. You're ultimately paying, as I call it, you're paying Facebook or Google to tell you you don't know how to market, right? And how I know it, I've seen it. I have some colleagues who are into Facebook paid ads and they help people figure it out. And they say the same thing. Like, it just doesn't work for people who don't have already proven organic ways of converting, followers or potential clients into paying clients. Then it's very hard to figure it out through paid ads. You have to figure that out first. And then you can amplify, right? Buy yourself some time and convert the working organic funnels into paid funnels and not having to do things organically. Okay, so know your clients, figure out your messaging first, and then invest into paid advertising. Mistake number 9, forgetting to serve your existing clients. So that sometimes comes from a thought like, oh, once a client, it's always a client, whether it's a service, whether it's a product. Oh, once they bought, they will love what I deliver. I have such a great, value to serve. They will always stay. But what happens is then you deliver the offer, and sometimes you take your client for granted. Sometimes our brain slips into sort of complacency. Again, our primitive brain doesn't like to exert any energy. So whenever it can conserve energy, it will, right? We almost like need to stand on guard on that. And what happens when you become a bit complacent is you lose opportunities to either grow with your existing clients or for your existing clients to come back when they have need again, or they want something again, or even refer you. Okay. One of the clients that I coached last week, I was so excited and proud for her. So she's in the process of signing a commercial deal with a potential client, and it's already in the talks to sign that deal. She already discovered a potential for the next service she could offer them in a couple of months. But that's only because she comes from that mindset is let me find out, learn about my clients even more, what could serve them, what do they need, understand it, and then tie it with what I offer, right? And you can only do it when you don't have that complacency, like, oh, client just bought, this is what I'm going to deliver. And then, magically, again, they will stay with me forever. So you want to lead with value. And I'll talk about it in the process in a second, a little bit more about this concept. Okay. The last mistake I want to talk about here today is when you let the client lead the sales conversation. So however you call it, whether it's you have a discovery call, whether you just chat, whether it's a whole, multiple sets of meetings, however you do your sales, if you allow the client to drive those conversations, then you lose opportunity to find certain things about them that will help you show the value of what you offer that they might not even realize. And by leading, I don't mean you're the one talking most of the time, but you're the one asking questions, finding out what is exactly that they need, what is exactly that's going on with your client that will allow you to see what they need. Okay, because sometimes or very often, your ideal client might not even realize what they need, right? It's kind of like going to the doctor. They might see the symptom of a problem that they have that you help them with. They runny nose, temperature, whatever, not feeling great. But they might not realize that the root cause of it is having a flu, right? And you're the only one who can determine that if you lead the conversation as the question. If you let them do all the talking without guiding them, you might never find that out. And through that, you will not propose the best solution. And then you have a lower conversion rates when they won't believe that you can help them, or, the solution is wrong, or whatever the case might be. Okay. So the fix is to really develop certain sales skills, ability to ask the right questions and lead that conversation. So then you can show them the full spectrum of how you help them, your conversion rates go up. So when I thought about it, and those are not the only mistakes, right? It's not an exclusive list. There's others, but those are the most common that I see. When I thought about it, what are some root causes of those mistakes? It really boils down to 3 groups. The first is when a business owner doesn't have a clarity and knowledge on their ideal client. So even if some people do the client avatar, it's not deep enough. It's just like, oh, here's their age and here is what they do or how much money they make, and then that's it. As opposed to going deeper into, okay, how do they describe the problems? What do they do? How it's showing up, the problem that I'm solving through my offer, how it's showing up in their day to day, okay? Where it shows up in their life, in their business, however you help them, okay? Going deep allows you to have so much more powerful marketing, more compelling, when again, you can attract your ideal clients more, because when you talk to that, they feel understood, they feel heard, and not, again, you don't need to necessarily do a lot of entertainment if that's not your thing. If you love it, that's great. You can make that type of content entertaining, so even better. Okay. The second root cause is sometimes low or no confidence and believe in yourself as the CEO of the business, not believing in the value, full spectrum of what you offer. And that can sometimes show up in very kind of hiding and not showing up as big as you could in your marketing and sales. Sometimes it shows up in your pricing or the way you have the sales conversations, when you're almost apologetic about what you offer or the price of that or whatever, right? It also shows up sometimes in decision making, in not making decisions or procrastinating, taking too long to make some basic decisions in your business, or changing your decisions more too often, which again creates a lot of busyness and hectic action, and not allowing yourself to get the momentum. Okay. And also, when you change your decisions too often, it defocuses you. It takes you away from staying focused, working through your strategy, working through your plan, and just, tweaking, if anything, things that maybe are not exactly creating the results you wanted, and figuring out what that is and how you can fix it. Okay. The third part is, and the third root cause is lack of marketing and sales skills. And that's very big. And, I always say, like, for people who are like, but I want to delegate everything, or I didn't sign up for it when I started my business. But it's almost like, I hate to break it to you. You will always, as a CEO of your business, you'll always do some sort of marketing and sales, even if at some point in your business you delegate some of it to paid advertising, some of it to your employees and contractors. You still need to understand it and oversee it, because that's your job. Okay. It's kind of like saying that when you have kids, oh, I didn't sign up for poopy diapers and sleepless nights. I just signed up for the cuteness of the baby. Those things go together always. Okay. And really, what marketing is, because sometimes people say, well, I hate marketing and sales, but it's only you have that feeling when you think that it's all about you. And marketing and sales is not about you. It's about your ideal clients and you helping them, right? Solving their problems, achieving their goals, whatever that is. And it's just about learning how to show them that you're the best person to hire in their language. Talk about it in a second. But in their language, that's all it is. Okay. It's not about you. It's not about boasting or anything. It's about them. So here is this 3-step process to consistently signing clients. Step number 1, be intentionally visible. Okay. Intentionally meaning it needs to be set of logical and strategic decision as to where do I show up, how do I show up, why am I doing it? Okay. Align it with your vision and values. When you align it with what's important to you, with what feels natural to you, okay, it's so much easier to overcome discomfort that always comes with when you do something new. Like when I think about the webinars that I'm running, right? The very first webinar that I've ever run, I was way more scared than I am now. Okay. And I'm still getting nervous. It's not like it magically went away, but way more scared. Okay. I was way more uncomfortable. But because I knew that this is the way I do want to market my business, this is the way it feels natural to me. It feels like I'm giving a lot of value and helping. I chose that, right? You also want to choose that based, of course, on your ideal client. Who is your client again? Where are they showing up? What's important to them? All those things. The more you know about them, the easier it is to choose where you're going to be visible. And then you also choose on what you can commit to consistently and be able to go deep, what you're going to stick with. So you have a chance to figure this out in a deep level up to the point when it works, when it gives you the results that you want, right? When you can tweak things and so on. So that's step one, intentionally visible. The second thing, as you are visible, as you run your business, lead with value. This is a concept I teach my clients. This is the concept that really, I believe, makes you feel natural and good about marketing and selling in your business. When you think about, I'm coming from service and not expectancy of, oh, people should come just because I have something, right? I'm coming from, no, I want to help my clients. And yes, the best way I can help them when they buy from me the product or so on, because there's only so much I can give them for free value. It's kind of like, when you go to, I don't know, Costco, for example, and they give you a free samples, well, you can make dinner out of those samples, right? You can taste it and have a bit of value and say, that's great, but you got to buy and to have a great dinner, right? So what you give in value in marketing, it's just like a taste, a sample for your clients to make great decision and then be happy with that decision as they enter into a client service provider or client, product provider relationship with you. Then as you lead with value, in order for the clients to really understand what you're all about and why they're choosing you, you want to communicate simply and clearly. And that's what marketing and sales is. It's learning how to speak your client's language. And the simplest way I can explain it is, imagine your client speaks English, you speak Spanish. If you keep speaking Spanish, let's say your expert language to them, no matter whether you send them a letter, you record a video, you phone call them, you text them, no matter the avenue you go, they're not going to understand. They're not going to relate. Whether you are louder or slower or whatever, they still don't understand. It's like my grandpa who used to, try to speak Polish to my French uncle, speaking slower. It's like, let me try slow Polish. Maybe my French uncle will understand. It didn't, right? So that's why sometimes when you go from Instagram to TikTok to LinkedIn to so on, you're not getting results because you're still speaking Spanish to an English speaking audience. You're just changing the medium. That doesn't work. Now, if you start learning English or whatever, so let's say your audience speaks English, if you start learning English, even if you're a beginner, some people will understand. Some of them, they'll relate. So they'll start gathering around you. They will start buying from you. And the more fluent you are in English, the more people will relate and understand. That's what learning marketing is all about, okay? It's worth learning that skill because the better you get, the more clients you sign. But even if you're the beginner, you can sign clients, okay? And as I said, lead with value each step of the journey. So before people become your clients in your marketing, and then when when you make a sale and they're your clients, and then while you're nurturing them as your clients, and even after, right? Find ways to keep delivering value to your best ideal clients, because that will create more consistency. It will allow you to compound the results. The third step, super important, is to consistently invite your potential clients to work with you, meaning making offers, okay? Consistently, not once a year, once every 3 months, or once every 10 posts, or whatever that is, but consistently. And You can only do it when you believe that they want it and that you offer value. When you know that what you sell is valuable, you will be compelled to share it. When you love a movie and you know that a person, your friend, could benefit from watching that movie, you have no reservation about sharing it, right? You're like, oh my God, you need to share this movie. You need to see this movie, even though they have to pay for it. You're not giving it to them for free. It's not even yours. You're not making any money out of it, right? But you're so compelled because you believe in the value of that movie for your friend. So you got to believe in the value of what you offer, same or even more, because you can't expect the client to believe more than you do. But when you do that, you want to invite them consistently in a way that resonates. And here's a couple of reasons why. Consistency creates trust. And when your clients trust, they feel safe to buy. They feel safe to give you their hard-earned money in exchange for the value that you offer. So whether you again, help them achieve certain goals, help them avoid challenges or overcome challenges, whatever that is. Okay. And also, consistency allows your client to have an ease of buying whenever they are in their journey. Like, for example, when I think about myself as a client, I'm a busy entrepreneur, I'm a busy mom. If I want to buy something, and let's say I follow a brand, and when I start following them, I'm not ready to buy for whatever they have, but at some point I get ready. And let's say I'm reading an email or post, I want to know from that post, how can I buy? I don't want to have to go back digging 20 emails back, 10 posts back, or whatever to find, or through their profiles, or not even to find, how do I become your client, right? I was talking to somebody one day where they were sending newsletters to their list, to their potential clients. They put a lot of effort in that newsletter and so on. And I was looking at this newsletter. I'm like, okay, well, if I'm the client I want to buy, what do I do? There was nothing there. No links, no, send me an email, no nothing. Make it easy. Don't send your ideal clients on a goose chase because what? They want it. They want it. And then you have new people coming into your sphere, right? And you can't expect them to go back 2 months in your post or try to, again, go on a treasure hunt to find how to work with you. Consistently invite them to work with you. Okay, so be intentionally visible, lead with value, offer value in your marketing, and consistently invite them to work with you. And I promise you, people will come. And they will come more and more the more skilled you get if following the process by mastering some marketing skills. Okay. And that's what I want to talk about now. Skills to develop in order for this process to work, in order for you to start compounding the results. So not be like, okay, 1 year I signed X amount of clients and I'm not sure how that happened. And I'm hoping that this year is going to be the same, but I'm not sure. When you develop those skills, you know exactly how your organic marketing works. You develop certain funnels that they work. You're in charge of it and you know how to repeat that. And when you know how to repeat that, then it's easier to scale, right? When you don't believe that it's Slack or it's, something else that you created it and how. And the skills you want to develop is not only attract the right audience, right? Not the audience that just, again, for the sake of followers that then nobody buys, but attract the right audience. So then you can start converting them to potential clients, meaning where people want it, they start considering you over somebody else who offers similar product, similar service. We all have so-called competition, right? And I don't believe in a sense of competition when there isn't enough. There is enough for everybody, but people have choice. So when you nurture people with value, then they start considering you as their first choice or the only choice. They might love you so much that they're like, oh my God, when I'm ready, I'm going to work with Cindy. That's it. Okay. Then the next skill is to really know how to close a potential client to a paying client, right? How to lead the conversation, however you have it, in a way where you realize fully what your client needs it. You can explain it properly. We can show them value when them saying yes to you becomes a no-brainer. And then the last thing is, as you do this process and as you hone those skills, right, you learn how to speak English or Spanish, whatever, better and better and better. You got to learn how to manage your brain to serve you in this process, because your brain will get impatient, the primitive part of your brain, not the executive CEO part of the brain. It will get impatient. It will want to tell you that nothing is working and that you should go to find another magic solution that you think, or you should learn more without implementing, just gathering knowledge, or that you should do something else, right? And you got to learn how to rein it back in and say, no, we're focusing on this. We're tweaking this. We're learning this. We're figuring this out, not 30 other things. Okay. When you do that, here's what happens. You start getting people interested in working with you, and clients reach out to you. And not only they reach out to you, they're already pre-sold on becoming your clients because you've nurtured them, you gave them enough value in your marketing. So they already have an idea, yeah. You know, Chantal is who I want to work with. You also enjoy nurturing and converting the clients. So start enjoying marketing and sales. Again, doesn't mean you always have to do all of it on your own. As your business grows, there's things you can outsource, things you can pay for, and so on. But you're doing it because your business is growing. You're doing it and you're in control of it and you can oversee it well, rather than I just wanted to give it somebody and have nothing to do with it. Because that's not how you can run a successful business long term. As a CEO, you always need to be aware of what's going on, why you're doing certain things, what other people are doing, and so on. And then through that, you can create consistent and growing income. Okay. And yes, that consistency can look a bit different than in a 9 to 5. And I teach that to my clients, how it works, right? But you can do that. Your minimum that you make every month can keep growing, and then just certain level of your next growth fluctuates. Okay. And as the CEO, as the leader of your business, the business owner, what happens for you, you start trusting yourself to make good decisions. Because if I made the decision, I created a strategy, and then I go and implement and I stick with it and I figure things out and things start working, then I know I made the right decision. The more of these decisions I make, the more I trust myself to do them and not to change them too often, not to question myself all the time. Okay. What also happens is you consistently follow through on your plan. So you have a plan, you have a strategy, you keep going. And then the more you do that, the more at the end of every week you look back and you're like, yep, I've done it. I feel proud. I feel like I move forward. I see the progress. The more confidence you grow, as opposed to you look back and you're like, well, I was busy, but I don't know what I did. Oh, I procrastinated half of the week and now I feel ashamed. I feel embarrassed. The more that happens, the less confidence you have. Your confidence tanks, right? So when you become more of a calm and grounded CEO, you also become more calm and grounded and confident about the results you can create in your business, not just now, but long term. Okay. So as a quick exercise, I want you to imagine this. I want you to think about, how would my business look like if more people, more and more consistently, started reaching out to me, being interested in what I have to offer, wanting to buy? And then what it would look like if I could keep growing my income. What would that mean to me? How I feel about me, about my business? What would that mean to my family or people around me, right? How it would impact me, not just now, end of the year, next year, but long term. Okay. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that is the teaching portion of the webinar. Okay. So now, as I said, I want to give you an opportunity to take this knowledge, take the transformation that started and make it long lasting and start practicing the skills we talked about and start practicing the process with my help and do it as soon as possible, because why would we want to wait to create better results? Why would we want to wait to feel even better about our business, about ourselves? So I'm going to tell you about my Diamond Effect Small Coaching Group. I have a couple of offers depending on where you are in your business. I either coach people one-on-one who are more advanced in their business, or when you're a newer entrepreneur, I have a Diamond Effect Small Coaching Group. And this is what I want to tell you about today. So what the group is all about is really a step-by-step, simple and doable container to help newer business owners, or business owners who have, a side hustle and want to make it a full-time hustle, to earn the first $50,000 a year in income, but also develop the skills that will allow you to repeat that and be ready to scale. So develop a business skill as a CEO, but also create a business structure that's very sound, foundation that's solid, and allows you to scale. So what we do here is create a business growth strategy that's very unique to you, very unique to who you are, your values, what your business is all about, where do you want to take your vision. And then from there, we create simple action plan and then we implement it. Okay. So the Diamond Effect process works and will work for you because it's tailored to you. It's simple to implement. And then you have my coaching week after week to do it. And the way the group works is that you get access to the group for a lifetime. The investment is $5,000, okay? But you stay as long as you want to, or as long as you need to create the $50,000 and more. And what we do is we coach weekly in a small group. So what it gives you is that best of both worlds, where the group is small enough for you and I to coach one-on-one keep you on your track, on your strategy. But also the group normalizes what it takes to be an entrepreneur. Okay. It's a small group of entrepreneurs who are sometimes struggling with the same challenges you're struggling. Again, very much like being a parent when you have a toddler and they have tantrums, and at first you think, oh my God, like I'm the worst parent in the world. I'm the only one who this is happening to. And then you talk to other parents and toddlers and you're like, nope, it's normal. Everybody goes through it, right? So it's the same in entrepreneurship. Everybody goes through certain stages, and knowing that and seeing that in your peers normalizes that journey. It also acts a little bit as a mastermind where people help each other, they collaborate, they become each other's clients, whatever the case might be, right? And I give my clients lifetime access because what I want to focus on is really help you create a strong business foundation, help you make the first good amount of money so you have more resources to invest further. So you establish certain organic marketing and sales processes and funnels that you know how to recreate the $50,000 over and over at minimum, and you're ready to scale in your skill set and your business structure. Okay. I have clients in this group who's been there a couple months, a few months, or a couple of years. And especially those who've been there a couple of years, they made already like 50,000, and this year they're on the path to make 100,000 or 75,000. So if you think about return on investment, it's 10x or more, or 20, 30 within the period of amount of time. And this is the price. Okay. It's not like, oh, I have to pay 5,000 one year and then 5,000 next year or whatever. This is the price. You stay for as long as you want to. Okay. So what I want to invite you to do first is to join Diamond Effect, but first join me for a free 15-minute consultation. Okay. What it is, it's like your first coaching session for free. First of all, what it does, a lot of my clients have never had a business coach, so they don't know how it works. They don't know what our coaching would look like. So it's a great way to see what coaching is all about. The second thing is that I treat that consultation as a foundation if we were to move together and work together. Would I do an in-depth analysis and sort of diagnosis in your business? I ask you a bunch of very specific questions like a doctor to really figure out what's working, what's not, where are the problem areas, what would you need to do to overcome them? And then I give you a step-by-step plan. It's like a short term, okay, how could you achieve your short-term goals? Here is what we would do. Here is what I recommend you do if we are to coach together. That will be our basis. But then if not, if we don't find we're a good fit, you can take that and use it on your own, right? So you really get a simple path to grow. You get clarity on the key areas of your growth or where you need to tweak things. And you see true possibility of where you can take your business. Because truly, my clients, not all of them, but some of them, when they start with me, they don't even see or believe how far they could get. And I'll give you two examples. One-on-one client of mine, when we started coaching together, she was about, I think, like $80,000 a year. And within a year of us coaching, she doubled the business. And then February this year, she got a great opportunity to grow even more. And what happened is when we started, she didn't even consider that her business could make $1 million of, gross income within a year. By February, she knew exactly how that would happen. And she couldn't believe that it was actually achievable and way sooner than she even dreamed of. Okay. Then another client from Diamond Effect group, when she joined, I think in October last year, and she had a job and the business has been part-time and she had run that business for quite some time, but her income was very unpredictable. Sometimes she had clients, sometimes not. So when she finally joined Diamond Effect because she said, Maggie, I really want to quit my job. I really want to go all in my business. But in her estimation, she thought it would take her like a year or two. Well, this March, she quit. Now she's full-time, okay? Because sometimes your brain doesn't know it's possible until you focus, until you narrow down, until you start strategically moving forward, which usually accelerates the results. And then you can see a clear path. Oh my God, this is actually possible for me. Okay. So I want to invite you to schedule a session with me for us to talk about you getting some serious results in your business and how you can do that. I just shared with everybody, a link to my calendar, or actually, I think I sent you guys an email as well. You can click on it. It takes 30 seconds. Again, it's a free session, no obligations, just a conversation about your business and your short-term goals and long-term goals, okay? And if you're doing this, and I want to invite you to do it now because you will end up talking yourself out of it if we go away and then you get busy, it's the beginning of the week. Your brain will be like, oh yeah, I need to do this and I need to do that. And then it will be like, oh, new, is that going to work for me? Maybe I shouldn't, maybe in this, it will talk you out even from a consult. So those of you who are interested, do it now. Let me know. I do want to shout you out. And for, being courageous, making a decision and just following through it. Okay. As you're doing with that, we'll go to Q&A in just a couple minutes. I'm going to talk about 3 more things that I want to offer you today. So the first thing is really, I offer it to all my clients, and it's a bonus that just allows my clients to elevate their business knowledge, their business perspective, how they look at their own business, and therefore make higher level decisions. And also what it allows me to do is have a higher level coaching and conversation with my clients. And what that is, it's a business skill learning portals that you get as my client, lifetime access. Again, you have access to it 24/7. And it's a number of videos that I organized in 6 modules: CEO mindset, organic marketing, sales that kind of feel natural, becoming a high performer, competitive advantage, and money and financial basics. And as I said, it's not a course that you follow, okay? It's just videos that elevate your knowledge in business, your understanding of how things works in your business, and just elevates our conversations. It allows me to coach you at a higher level. You make better decisions for your business. And you can approach it 2 different ways. Some people love to learn just like me. So they go and they watch all the things all the time. Some people are like, whoa, I'm already busy. I don't want to. You don't have to. I send my clients to specific videos to watch. And then, during a weekly coaching session, we sort of talk about it, make some decisions, move forward. Okay. And then the second things that I offer to all my clients, the second thing is a tool that allows you to stay focused, follow through with your plans, stay committed and consistent, be on track. And that's my Dream Plan Do Journal. When you join the group, you get 1 year supply of it. So I can guarantee that by the time you're done, you have some great habits established that are helping you be more effective in your business, along with the strategy. It allows you to save time, not be busy, stay on track, and also help you manage your mind. And, of course, during weekly session, we manage your mind and so on. But then in between, you want to also gain tools that you can do it on your own. So the journal doesn't do it for you, but it kind of helps you. It's a great tool. Okay. So one last thing. I want to encourage you to really join and get coaching now. First of all, we're going into September after school and after vacation. We're usually out of our game, and it's great to refocus and regroup. And what I do occasionally for my clients, I run some special events that are available. They're not, again, my clients don't have to pay for them. On top of the regular investment, it's just there. This is what I do. So we're going to run back to business bootcamp starting September 4th to 29th to just refocus, finish the business, finish strong in your business in the old year, and therefore prepare to start strong the new year, because it's so much more powerful when you finish the year strong, and it gives you so much more hope and just commitment to your business in the new year, rather than just 2023 sucked, so I'm just hoping 2024 will be better, rather than I crashed 2023, or at least the end year of it. I'm so excited to go with that, with the skills, with the strategy, with all the knowledge into 2024. Okay, so we're going to be doing that. And then if you join by the end of the week, I will send you a wonderful package, VIP swag, where there's multiple items, but one of them is this water bottle with your name on it here. It's custom made just for you. It's one of my clients who does that, Chantal, and those are amazing, very quality items. Okay, so that's what you get. Diamond Effect Group. The investment is $5,000. You get access for life, small group coaching, so my coaching with it. You get access to a business skill learning portal when you can really elevate and understand business in a much deeper level, and only in small chunks and what's applicable to you right now. And you get the journals to help you. So really, I guarantee your success. There's no way it's not going to work for you. And we can talk about it in a second, but the way you join is through a free coaching session with me, when you get to see what coaching is all about. We get to talk about your business. We get to create a plan. that you can then take and really use no matter what. Okay. So now it's time for Q&A. Let me know. You can ask a couple of questions. And I see, Cindy, here you have what day and time. I don't know what it was about. So if you can just tell me what that question relates to, I will let you know. But you can ask questions through Q&A. There is an anonymous option, so you don't have to reveal your name. Or you can ask through chat, however, and then you can ask on anything we talked about today. So anything I taught earlier, anything about the group or coaching or whatever, okay? So yes, Cindy, online or in person? The coaching is online, if that was the question. The coaching is online. If it's day and time for the group coaching, we have right now 2 calls. There is one on Monday, evening Eastern Standard Time. That allows if you're working or whatever, you can do in the evening. And there's one later in the morning on Thursdays. We don't have to. You don't have to commit to the call. So 1 week you can come on Monday, 1 week you can come on Thursday. That's not a problem. Again, why? Because you're on sort of individual path, but also even if I run something like Back to Business Bootcamp, we keep the same theme for a week, right? So I repeat the theme, or if I teach something, I do the same teaching on both calls. So then you don't miss out, okay? Is there an option to pay for the small group coaching in monthly installments? Yes, there is. I do monthly installments for sure. No problem. Bootcamp, how does that work? So bootcamp, how we're going to work. I have some videos, 1 a week, so nothing big per week, but also based on that video, there will be certain things that you will need to think about, and we'll coach for certain things, if you are, and we'll usually, again, I always, target the coaching to you and where you are and what we're working on. But really the main purpose of the bootcamp is to reset you in kind of like more of a working / if you have kids, school mode or whatever, just help you refocus after vacation. Because I know even my clients, they sometimes choose to work less on vacation and they come back. So it's kind of hard. So just refocus and make sure that the time you do want to spend in your business is used the most effectively. Okay. Because as I tell my clients, again, one of the coaching I had today, sometimes we think like, oh, I don't have time, I'm too busy, but, and therefore I cannot grow as fast and so on. But it's not true, because if time doesn't create money in business, if you invest the money, that's fine. But when you're a business owner, it's the value that you create that creates money, not the time. So some people can create a lot of value in a very short period of time, and that's called being effective. And some people create a little value in a long time. So my goal is to increase your effectiveness through strategy, through get good habits and so on. So even in a short period of time, you can create a lot of value and therefore make money, attract clients, right? So when you get super effective, you might be able to create same amount of money in 20 hours to 10 hours a week than somebody working 50 or even more, okay? So that's what the bootcamp is. It's really just thinking, refocusing. It's 1 video a week to watch and then ask coaching during the regular coaching calls. But it's a great kind of, community-based event to get you focused, okay? Those are great questions. Any other questions? And one more thing, sometimes people ask me, okay, what is that guarantee? So guarantees because the purpose of the group is to help you make $50,000 in 12 consecutive months or more, is to put you at ease that you will not lose money, that it's not going to be an investment. Like we all did that. We invest in a course and we either don't finish the course or we kind of finished but don't know how to apply and don't get results. This is you're not only make your money back, so you'll make $5,000 back, you actually make more. Most of my clients make the first $5,000 back between 30 to 90 days. It just depends where you are in your business. But I stand behind my process and behind my coaching and behind my commitment to make my clients successful. Therefore, if for whatever reason you didn't make it back, I'll give it back to you. There is no time limit. So it's not like, oh, if I don't make it back in 90 days, then, I'll lose it type of thing. The only conditions are that until you make it back, you show up to 80% of the calls. You don't have to show up to all of them, but you have to show up to some of them because I need to have an opportunity to coach you and help you. And that whatever decisions we make together about your business and strategy, you're going to implement it. Because, just joining the group, and then again, our brain is like, all right, just join and it will magically create results. That doesn't work. Joining coaching means implementing certain things. And when you're willing to do that, when you're coachable and open-minded, I guarantee this will work for you. Okay, that's also sometimes questions that I get. Oh, Maggie, it works for you and it works for other clients, but is it going to work for me? Yes, it will, because you're on your own strategy. You get my support every week, and you're capable of learning. You're capable of trying something new and making it happen. That's why you started your business, right? So it will work for you. Great questions. Any other questions? I'm just trying to see here. Any other questions? As I said, to join, you want to book a free consultation. If you do it this week and you decide to join, we decide that we're a good fit. By the end of the week, you'll get to benefit from the bootcamp. You'll get to, you'll get the amazing swag. That's like my clients are always like, those clients who get it, they're super excited about it. I see them when we coach, using the bottle or using other things that are in there, which is awesome. It's a great little present extra. Okay. As I said, with the Diamond Effect group, with the investment, you are in the group for lifetime, as long as you want to, as long as you find it valuable. And as I said, I have clients who already are past the first 50,000. They're still coming back. They're still finding valuable. We keep growing their businesses. You have access to it. You get the, access to the portal with all those videos, plus all the other bonuses that are in there. As videos, you get 1 year supply of the journal and anything else that I come up with along the way that I don't advertise. Okay, what other questions do you guys have? Yes, I said the calls are Mondays and Thursdays right now. Sometimes I'm just trying to think what are some. Oh, okay. Some other questions that sometimes I get is like, oh, will I get homework, or am I going to need to do things when I'm already busy and so on? So what I want to say, first of all, we'll probably eliminate a bunch of things that you might be doing that are not creating results, that are not helpful to you. So you're going to gain a lot of time. Now, of course, there will be things that I'll ask you to do, but it's more things to implement in your business that are going to be more strategic, more results creating than maybe what you're doing now. So it's nothing like, oh, I'm running my business and then I have to do this thing. Everything you do or will be doing has a goal of moving you forward in your business, creating more clients, creating more money, but in a way that doesn't overwhelm you, that feels good, that allows you to build the confidence, build you the trust that you have in yourself in making decisions and being the CEO and so on. Okay, so all of that is linked. And then another question that I sometimes get, oh, well, I have to do something that doesn't feel right because you're telling me, Maggie, oh, I need to try and so on. That also is not true. First of all, we always start with a strategy, and the strategy is aligned with your values and who you are. So, and the strategy is ultimately your decisions. I'm just giving you options or choices or my expertise, but the final thing is your decision because you are the CEO. You need to run your business, right? So I'm teaching you through that also how to make strategic decisions. I'm giving you my expertise, my experience, my knowledge. But if something doesn't feel right, you can say, Maggie, that doesn't feel right. Now, if I feel like, you being resistant to whatever we coach on or whatever we try to decide is more coming from the fear or your brain being uncomfortable, then I'll coach you on it to show you a different perspective. But again, ultimately, you decide. So there will be nothing that you choose to do or that you'll be doing that goes against who you are. Okay? There's no forcing anything. I want you to be powerful and confident and believing in yourself and believing in what you're doing, that this will create results. What I'm just doing, trying to remove blocks along the way, help you through certain things, allow you to make decisions much faster through my input, avoid a bunch of mistakes, avoid a bunch of challenges, and help you hone the skills that you need right now and you will need down the line faster. Okay, it's like, again, if you were learning another language and you were going to school in that country, you would probably take classes, right, from teacher and so on, rather than trying to learn from books. And you would also immerse yourself. Like the fastest way to learn a language is to immerse yourself in the environment and also take classes. So that's what Diamond Effect is all about. You immersing yourself in being in business, being strategic about it, learning how to be strategic, how to think strategically, and having also on top of it a teacher that guides you through everything. Okay. Any other questions? Happy to answer anything you would like. Just trying to think what are the other questions. But the best way really for us to talk is through a free consultation. Again, it's no obligation, no risk, no nothing. You just book a time, we have a chat, and then how I would approach your business growth, how I would approach you overcoming whatever challenges you're struggling with, what you would be doing. You get a sense of how it is to coach, what kind of results I can get, because, here in this environment, in terms of a webinar, I'm more teaching you, right? And coaching, yes, there's a little bit of teaching, but coaching is about implementing. It's about taking the transformation, the knowledge, whatever you have through teaching, and then implementing and making it part of how you run the business, making it last, creating long-term results. Okay, it's one thing to understand a concept logically. Again, I was just coaching one of my clients today on it. We were coaching on a new concept for her, and she understood it logically, but she knew that she would need time to sort of integrate it, right? So there's one thing understanding something logically when you read a book and you're like, yep, I get it. But it's a whole different story to now take that, implement it, and integrate it to the point where it works for you. And that's where coaching comes in, because it speeds up that process. It speeds up the integration. It makes it easier, simpler, more doable. So then your brain doesn't rebel. You're not like, okay, that's too hard, I'm not doing it, even if it helps you, right? Coaching doesn't allow you to do that. Coaching, I stay on you and we integrate it until it helps you. Mistakes are easy to remember. I don't know if you intended for belief, action, results, and fix. Barf. That's funny. That's a good one, Diane. Believe, action, and results, and figs. Barf, right? Because sometimes in entrepreneurship, we got to do the things that we are scared of, that we feel like, but we got to do and do it anyway, right? As one of my colleagues says, gag and go. Sometimes you just got to gag, even if it feels scary, and go. Okay. That's sometimes if you've never invested like in yourself or in coaching, and I know that like $5,000 it's a lot of money. I get it. So it can feel scary. And it's normal. Hey, like the first time I invested in my coach, that was more money. I felt scared. And I believe, like I have a belief that investing in you and your skill is the best investment you ever do. I've never hesitated to invest like even my MBA or in school and books, because I know that what I learn and the skills I acquire, I have it forever. Nobody will take it away from me. I can always use it no matter what. So even with that belief, and even with the track record of, buying books over clothes, or buying, investing in school over going out to restaurant, because that's my value, right? I still was scared. So that's normal. But again, or even doing the first webinar, doing first live, sometimes you just gag and go, because you know that ultimately is the best for you. Right? And what I want to tell you is that the skills you learn with me, the skills you learn in Diamond Effect, those are foundational skills that will serve you everywhere, no matter what. Because think about it. Like when you learn the psychology behind attracting your ideal client and then converting them to paid clients and so on, you can translate that into no matter what medium, whether it's, again, another social media platform, another digital marketing tool, or in person, or whatever. It's just the way you think and how you think about your clients and approach. Again, once you learn the language, you will be able to communicate, and the person will be able to resonate, whether you send them a letter, whether you do a video, whether you record a message, whether you text, does not matter. They will understand and resonate. And that's what we learn here. Okay. That's what you learn with me, really. But that's a great observation, Diane. I love it. I'll think about it. Maybe I will use it. Barf. Believe, action. What is it? Result and fix. Whatever is not working. Love it. Love it. Any other questions? I want to love to answer them. I guess another question that sometimes get like, oh, if I already made the 50,000 or a bit above, can you still help me? Yes, I can. I coach, but then I coach more one-on-one. Okay. The group is really, we focus and narrow down our focus on the most critical key things that will take you to that 50, 75 level, and that will allow you to repeat that and allow you to have the structure of the business that, again, and the skill sets to scale further. And then past that, there's other considerations that we don't necessarily talk about in the group. Okay. All right. If there are no other questions, I want to thank you for coming. I want to invite you to book the free consultation to continue the conversation. Take the next step, because, your belief in you and confidence, that's what will help you take the actions that will create the results you want, ultimately. Okay, not the fear, not leaning into the primitive brain, but leaning into your executive CEO brain, your belief in yourself and your abilities. All right. Thank you very much, everybody. See you next time. Thanks for coming. And yeah, you know how to reach me. Bye.